thought our defense got significantly better in the game. Our deflections were high in the first quarter, but getting up and making it tough to get looks was not our strength, but it got a lot better. And I thought our guys responded to change in defense as well, and that was good in the first half for us. I like the fact that in the game we had 20 deflections in the first quarter, we had 7 in the second, and then we turned around and we got 20 and 19 in the last 3 quarters, which is just very good activity. And I think some of that's because we were bringing pressure to the game, we were bringing fatigue to the game, and we stayed with our ability to constantly run. And what I've been trying to get across to these guys is that the harder we run, the more we run for layups, and if it's not there, get to the corners, the better our offense is going to be. And we knew it was going to happen. It's going to continue to happen all throughout the year. You have to guard the corners this year. You had to guard them the couple of years when we had the 50-plus wins and had those teams. You had to guard the corners every game. You didn't have to guard the corners as much last year for threes. You had to guard it for back cuts. Now you have to guard it for everything. And that just increases our ability to do so many different things on offense. But no question about it, our defense in the second quarter got the offense going. And the ball moved well throughout the entire game. And our turnovers were still a little high, but our turnovers forced was extremely high. Last year, we were very low in forcing turnovers, and very poor in forcing turnovers, and very high in the turnovers. And again, I say that not to bring up last year. I say that to say those are areas that we've got to continue to improve upon. You know, with what's going to be a young team all year. But if we can create turnovers, and with the way we're moving the ball, and with the way that we've got guys that you have to guard in space, and again, if we can play at this pace over a period of time, you know, we certainly enjoy that 24-second clock. But for us to take steps of understanding, we're not going to get it measured and figured out here, but at least we can get more of an understanding of it. We have got to be a very good rebounding team. You know, we had one player in Noah Vonleh that got 27% plus of the defensive rebounds when he was in the game. There's only one other guy in the country that I know of that did that, and that was Joel Embiid. And the bottom line is, like I said to them, of all the teams I've coached, this is going to be the one where everybody has got to be a part of the rebounding game. And because we're going to be small at times, maybe a lot of times, but we have to be fast, we have to be aggressive, we have to be physical in the blockouts, and we've got to get excited about rebounding on both ends. And I thought it got better from the second quarter on today. So that's the general view. Go ahead.
It seemed like Yogi was really vocal, really directing the offense at certain points tonight. Are you seeing that more, just him taking charge of this team?
Yeah, absolutely. But he's a third-year player that's very comfortable. He does a lot of things for us in practice. I was talking to the referee to get a clarification early on the travel call, and he's sitting right there running the huddle. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, he's done that since his freshman year, and I'll give him the huddle. And I mean, he took it right there to get his team settled in. I mean, I love that. I mean, that's what you want. You want a team of collective leadership, but they have to be able to look to somebody that's been through it, and he has to understand that they need him constantly. And we've got some very confident young men in the program, and at the same time, we have respectful ones, and they respect what he's done, and he respects them, and I think that's what's going to make this team continue to be cohesive as we move through the season. There's a high respect level for each other's talents, and that's already shown. Now, building a bond and a chemistry and all that takes time, but the respect level is crucial, and I think Yogi's got a lot to do with that on both ends.
I know it's one game, but do you feel like Troy's a guy you can go through more, to more? It felt like just he was touching the ball a lot more, I guess, on offense and critical.
Well, everybody did, and I think that's the key. And I'll look at what our number of passes were compared to the other team, you know, when we get back. But everybody did, and I think everybody in the game tonight, everybody was a product of very good ball movement, and that's the way we have to be. So playing through, I don't know if I would use that term on anybody right now. I think I think because the bottom line is you want a team of playmakers, and a team of playmakers are ones that make plays for others, and that's where Troy can continue to make strides. But there's no question he's improving. There's no question he's improved to this point, and it's just a continuance of really understanding what it takes. It's like I said to players today, you can't go into the game. You're not scientists. The players are not scientists. Okay, scientists love to experiment. You know, practice is for experimentation, not the games. And in the games, we've got to go with what's working. And again, you at our program, to a high degree, you know, we practice to their potential. It's never a situation where we talk about what they can't do or what they got to do better and then don't work on it. And at the same time, we're always looking for things to stretch their game. When we get into the game, more than ever, especially with a young team, we've got to do a very good job of playing to our strengths in the game. And I thought Troy did a good job of that.
Tom, who impressed you of the new kids tonight?
They all did. They all did. Yeah, I wouldn't differentiate. They all did at certain points. Some key highlights would be Robert being such a defensive stalwart in the second quarter. Made some key defensive plays. Made a good stretch in the third quarter. I thought James continued to play and do good things, and then got even more explosive, you know, with the ball as the game went on. Max had a tough run at the beginning because he jogged about his fourth trip. Well, that's a non-negotiable for us this year. That's an out. I mean, if you're not running hard every possession, we got to sub you. We went back in and he did a much better job. I thought Tim Friller continued to move and try to understand. I thought Nick Zeisloff went in and played extremely confident and didn't try to do. I mean, I would have loved to seen him try to do even more, but he's a teammate, and he's establishing a level of leadership, and they already respect him at a high level, and so he just went in there and played, and so those are the things. Am I leaving anybody out? Jeremiah didn't play. Am I leaving anybody out? New?
I think
New license? I covered him. Yeah.
I know that the games are obviously a big part of this, but the 10 practices leading up were also a pretty big deal.
Sure.
I guess, what did you learn the most about this group from those 10 practices?
Well, it's not what I learned, it's what they absorb. And because I mean, we've been seeing what's in front of us since the spring. I mean, literally since we started individuals, the week after the season ended and when spring break ended, and we had some change obviously in the roster, and we knew we had the other guys coming in. It was all about how we were getting ready to play, and so we're just really trying to get that across. If there's one thing we haven't done a lot of inside of those 10 practices, we've certainly not over-scrimmaged or anything like that. We've not been overly physical. I would say, and this is, again, in a regular season practice, you'd be doing a lot more rebounding drills and blockout drills. We haven't done those, to the point where that maybe gave me the most nervousness tonight. But it is a very long season, so you have to have a lot of variations, and at the same time, how do you get to the fundamental part of it? How do you understand the spacing, which has been something that we want to continue to work on? How do you understand all the different defensive concepts? We've used a lot of that time to build a base and then to add the defensive concepts, how we would play screen to screen, or how we would play this pick and roll set, that pick and roll set. We probably worked on 2 things that this team did this morning. We spent most of the time working on things that we'll see over a period of time. So we're really taking it as a real head start to getting your formula in for how you guard and how you run and how you play on offense, and then make adjustments inside of the game. And that's one reason I was calling timeouts late. We wanted to get something done at the end, you know, with that group. And so those are the things. We haven't tried to overly bring fatigue to the practices. We've tried to bring a big mental part to it. We're doing a lot of mirror drills and things of that nature that maybe be saving on their bodies, but pushing their minds a little bit. And at the same time, trying to compete where we can. So practices have been great, and we're trying to get a lot out of every day here as well.
The physical change that Troy's had, was that a little taste of what it can mean for him tonight? I mean, just
yeah, I would think so. Yeah, absolutely, and I think that'll continue to really grow. He's done a fantastic job since he's been at Indiana, changing his body. So again, I mean, he was the biggest player on the floor for us when we started the game, and just the way that it is. I mean, of all the teams that we've had at Indiana, this might be the most positionless team. And obviously Hunter's got there, but Hunter's really improved defensively. Now again, it's going to be, every game that Hunter doesn't get here sets him back, but it can't set us back. And there's two different things. So he's had the practices, he's done everything with us. This just came up last week. You wish that he was out there getting a chance to play these extended minutes and things of that nature. But he's not, so it opens up for somebody else. And I think Troy was a product of that tonight. Troy played numerous spots, offensively and defensively, and I thought did a pretty good job and got better as the game went on.